This year, spring seemed to take everything by storm, and temperatures shot up to almost 80, and then just as quickly a week later, dropped back down into the 30s again, which created quite the havoc on our maple syrup season, as well as other projects this year.
Hi. You got work to do. You ready to go to work? Okay. Wow. Well, it's definitely been an interesting spring. It's warmed up really fast, really soon. And at the rate it's going, we might even be cutting hay 2 weeks early. I don't know. We'll have to see. In the meantime, I am behind on other things because of the weather being early. This is one of my apple trees, which is already sprouted. I don't see any flowers on it, and I'm not sure when it's gonna flower. But there's something else that I have to do regardless. I have to spray my trees. So last year about this time, I didn't know that you're supposed to spray the trees before they flower. I thought you're supposed to spray them after they flower. So half my plants didn't produce much fruit. So I'm still behind again, but we're gonna try it this time. So I mixed up my spray right here. Big thanks to my subscribers for, spray me in the face, for telling me about this stuff, and Tractor Supply actually carried it. So I'm really excited about that. Sorry, Daddy, you might want to move somewhere else. Probably not the best time to spray it on a windy day, but so you're supposed to soak the tree down so it's dripping and spraying my eyeballs. The ingredients on this said it was just mineral oil. So, I don't know. I don't think it's toxic if it's just mineral oil, but yeah, let me know. Also, yeah, I'm not privy on all the things I'm supposed to do to my little fledgling crop of fruit trees. But we have a lot of trees to spray. I don't know if this is gonna do it all. I might have to mix up some more. What is your favorite type of fruit to grow, and which one has caused you the most issues? I have a variety of cherries, peaches, pears, plums, nectarines, and I don't have any more nut trees because those all died before I could plant them. Just you know, me and plants do not get along too well unless it's hay. Then I get along great. But if you have experience in this, let me know down below what I'm doing wrong, because I'm sure I'm doing a lot wrong here. Aw, this little guy, I don't think he even survived. He was looking pretty rough last year. We'll spray him anyway, just in case. I think he's dead. Oh, look, there's my first flower. So we're thinking that the reason the trees started dying is because of the fertilizer tablets that we used. The theory is that with our heavy, wet clay soil, it caused the tablets to dissolve a lot faster than they were supposed to. And pretty much they got fertilizer burn. You know, that's why our first year we didn't go crazy planting a whole pile. We just did 2 sets of 500. Anyway, I got a lot of fruit trees to spray.
Tapping trees and dumping buckets is only one part of making maple syrup. You still need a place to cook it down, and you still need wood in which to cook it. I had thought that perhaps I could repurpose this old debilitated greenhouse and turn it into a sugar shack. It wouldn't be pretty, but none of our sugar shacks have been pretty, and it might just do the trick with a lot of work. But yeah, I could probably pull it off. The tarp is pretty good. I just need to reinforce this just a little bit. And if that's all I have to do, it should be okay. But it wasn't long before I realized I had lots of other problems to be concerned about as well. And the shack was just one of many things to go wrong.
Looks like rain. Well, it's kind of a sad day today on the farm. I'm not happy about it, but what can you do? This one's hardly even in there. But at least I put the sap in the bucket. There it is. Ew. I didn't really want to have to do it, but we weighed our options and this was the only option. So because maple syrup season started so early this year, it actually started full running the beginning of February. Normally it doesn't start full running until the beginning of March. And since I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be doing maple syrup, I was caught off guard, not paying attention, wasn't watching the weather, wasn't watching the trees, wasn't watching anything until one day I saw bags on trees in the beginning of February and they were full. And I thought, well, that's strange, it's a whole month early. But I didn't have time to look at my own trees, do any test holes. I thought they were just, some people tap early, they just do. The thing with maple trees is that if you tap too early, they'll start to heal over before your big run actually comes. I've heard of some people going through and re-tapping their trees. They go in and they drill out the holes that they just drilled and put the taps back in to get a little bit of fresh sap going. I've tried that before and I don't know that it actually works, but so as you could see, we had just under 50 gallons of sap. I really wanted 100 gallons. These are silver and red maples, and these trees back here typically have anywhere from 1 to 2% sugar content. It's very, very low, which means your typical maple syrup, it might take about 40 gallons of sap to produce 1 gallon. These trees back here, you're looking at probably 80 or more gallons to produce 1 gallon of syrup. That's maybe. So I only had 50. Now it's not a big deal. If you're doing a home setup, 50 gallons is 50 gallons. It's great. But all of our equipment is geared towards high-end production. We didn't really have anything geared towards low-end production. So that meant we would have had to try to get some sort of gear, some sort of filtration system. And we could, and I almost did. But there's one last thing holding us back. Yeah, it's just part of farming. You know, you're either all in or you're not. And if you're not all in, then you just got to scrap it. And we were not all in this year. We gave it a shot though.
I really wanted at least 60 gallons of sap to be able to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. And I had 50. I needed just 10 more gallons to go, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting. But unfortunately, when I went to go collect the last remaining sap in the buckets, the weather took a turn for the worse and it got really warm, which caused the trees to pop open the buds, which releases bad sap into the buckets and ruins everything. So I had to dump it.
And plant this cherry tree right here. It's already starting to get colder, the sun is starting to go down, and we've got storms on the way, so it's the perfect time to get this tree in the ground. You can see it's already starting to put out little tiny buds, so hopefully these won't develop too much. Otherwise we're going to end up with nothing for this summer.
So these are your standard fruit tree pots. For these holes, I decided to go for the 9-inch auger with the power planter system. It's going to be just a little bit small yet for these holes, but that's okay. It'll give us a good start, and then we can shovel out the rest. Attaching it to the power head unit was pretty straightforward, and even using the key to tighten it down was pretty easy. The area along the driveway here ranges from clay to sand to sandy clay. So I'm not really quite sure what this particular hole is going to present, but we'll give it a shot. There's a few things that you're definitely going to notice as you watch me drill this hole. The first is you're going to see the drill kicking around. That's because the E-clutch system has to be manually set up when you first get the drill out. I had assumed that Eric had done this when we were unboxing it, but he hadn't, and I quickly realized that it wasn't the case. The second thing is, there is a screw-in handle that goes in on the side, and I didn't think twice about it when I grabbed the drill. This will also come in handy to keep it stabilized. You're also going to notice that it bites hard into this clay soil, It has absolutely no issues taking hold and driving itself down further into the soil. This particular spot turned out to be mostly solid clay, but it didn't even give a care. It just chewed right through it and spit it right out. In a couple videos from now, you'll see us put the same drill to use planting Christmas trees. Now we're going to do an experiment with the E-clutch versus without the E-clutch. So you'll really get a good feel of how it responds and how it really makes a difference when you dig. Obviously here you can see it without the E-clutch on, but I think it'll be interesting to see with and without when we're planting Christmas trees. In a previous video where we put the power planter to use, you guys had inquired whether or not it has a reverse function. And as you can see in this video here, I don't even look for the reverse function because I use it like I would a normal drill. And I don't normally use reverse on a regular drill. However, tomorrow we are going to be planting 100 brand new Christmas trees and using this to plant all of them. So we're going to really go through all the features of the fine-tooth comb and really lay everything out for you. So that video will be coming out in a couple of weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that, but you'll get all the details at that point.
Well, it did pretty good. I mean, this is all clay. It tore in. I really wish that I'd had that bar on there, and I didn't even stop to consider the fact that Eric had taken it off. So now we got to dig it out just a little bit deeper by hand because this is only it's a 7 or 9 inch auger bit, and we need a 12-inch hole for this. But it did the majority of the work. It gave us a nice clean hole. So now we'll just level it back out a little bit more with the shovel.
Now while I do have a 12-inch auger bit on the tractor auger, and it certainly would make quick work of digging out this hole, it is a massive pain in the butt to both put on and take off. So it's much easier and less stressful just to dig the hole out by hand. And all the other fruit trees, I actually did those by hand. So being able to use even a slightly smaller auger and then having just a little bit of shovel work to do is still a massive improvement over trying to wrestle that stupid auger onto the back of the tractor.
You know, if you're going to be digging a lot of 12-inch holes, you're probably going to want to go with a tractor post hole digger with a 12-inch auger. But this is nice to get a preliminary hole started. I literally was able to dig the rest of this out in like 3 minutes flat, which is a lot better than spending 15 minutes or half an hour digging out a hole, especially if it's really hard clay. You can see our ground is thick clay. This is actually a loamy clay right here. So this pot isn't as bad as some spots. This is a solid chunk of clay. But you can see the difference between the shovel and the auger. The auger gives us all this loose material that we can just shovel back in easily. Where this has to be broken up. It literally was that fast. Now these bigger bits are definitely a beast to handle, and this is a beast of a machine. This machine could go through anything that you try to put it through, so just be aware of that. A what?
A chipper.
A chipper? Is that a bird?
Yeah, I guess. This is where I found all my frog eggs.
Oh, you found all the frog eggs over here? Good thing I've got my run boots on. These things are waterproof or very water resistant. I don't know. I wouldn't stick my whole foot in the water, but I've heard some guys do. These are great. Yep. Anyway, we are going to be working on the pond pretty soon here, as soon as I get a spare moment. And we are going to see if we can take this whole thing back. You got water in your boots? I told you there's a hole in the back. So I don't even know how big the pond is anymore because most of it has overflowed so far. You can see those white pipes out there. Those are all buried underground. There used to be a drain tile system running from like right here all the way out to the road. And when Eric was smoothing the field out here, he tilled it up. Ever since then, it's just been flooding outward. So I think the main pond is out there somewhere. But the Colander water system, Colander pond water system that we're going to be using is going to help take back the pond. It's going to kill off the excess vegetation that's trying to fill in the pond. It's going to get rid of the pond scum, and it's going to purify the water. So we're going to actually do a water sample before we start treating it. Because I'm curious to know, like, what's in the water, how healthy it is. I'm sure it's got lots of horse poop in it and other things. So it'll be useful to know before we start treating what the water levels are like, and then after we treat. And it's all organic type material, so very excited to try that out. So definitely stay tuned. If you have ponds or you've ever thought about putting in a pond but you're concerned about muck and maintenance, this is definitely going to be a video series for you coming up this summer.
And don't forget, by leaving a comment on the video, you are entered to win our future upcoming 100K giveaway. I'm really looking forward to giving you guys some amazing gifts that you could possibly win. So definitely make sure you're entered by leaving your comment down below. And don't forget to make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned to the videos for more follow-up information. Here are a few of the sponsors that you can look forward to on this giveaway.
Truewerk Workwear, Brunt Work Boots, Isia Boots for all seasons, a WT Farm Girl merchandise gift basket, and of course our very special jewelry collection that will only be available during Christmas tree season on our farm. Definitely click the links down below in the video description and check out our sponsors.
Take care, guys. Until next time, love you. Bye.